In the years of 2016 to 2019, a musician who went by the name The Caretaker would tell a story within a piece of music consisting of 6 stages. In 2020, this haunting journey of memory, dementia, and the passage of time would make its way over to TikTok and accelerate this series of albums to a trending status. This set of albums was called Everywhere at the End of Time, and if you were around on the internet in 2020, then chances are that you may have heard it too. Now you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Lost Wave? Well, the unsettling nature of the 6 hour and 30 minutes of music utilized many samples of music from over 60 years ago, which led many listeners around the internet on a journey to dig them up. The albums opened the entries of countless rabbit holes, each with different twists and turns in their missions to find the original songs. You could say that this was a whole category of Lost Wave hunting within the Lost Wave community, as there were so many samples that the Caretaker used, that it would need a dedicated community to even scratch the surface of some of them. Incredibly, throughout the years, these samples would start to get found one by one. However, the truth behind one of these samples of music was discovered, and this happened to be the very last sample used in this series of albums. The piece of music that filled the void of the final 5 minutes may be lost forever. You see, one day during one of my Lost Media and Lost Wave internet journeys, I stumbled across a Reddit post from 4 years ago. The OP, who must have been a part of the Everywhere at the End of Time sample search party, explained that
the sample from the final 5 minutes of Everywhere at the End of Time is from a record Leyland got from a record store. There is no more information on this I can find. The name of the record is unknown and Kirby, Leyland, won't say.
What's interesting about this though is the reply that the OP got.
There is actually lots of information regarding the sample that you missed. The record sample was made in the 1960s. 50 copies were given out, one for each of the choir members to take home with. This also makes the record a private recording. Leyland Kirby managed to snag 2 copies of the record sometime during the 1990s. At the time, Kirby was living in the UK. The main reason Kirby won't say what the samples are is because he genuinely does not remember their names. His work process for the Caretaker project was taking whatever records he has on hand and distorting them. To him, the source does not matter, only the end product, the sound. Another reason he may not know is due to how the record is a white label. White labels generally have no producer information, no name, no artist, nothing but the music itself. Sometimes labels aren't made as the record could be a demo recording or discarded take, or the label itself was lost to time.
If everything this user just stated is true, then this would make the sample the hardest piece of Lost Wave music that the community may ever run into. The fact that it was from the 1960s and only about 50 copies were given out could make this search borderline impossible, and nothing like Lost Wave has ever seen before. Secondly, the fact that the origins of the record used did not matter to Kirby and that he just cared about the final product at the time means that he cannot remember where he got the record or what it was called. Just like Leyland Kirby's final series of albums represents, this record may well be lost to time. Further down the post, Employee 427, the user with all this information, was questioned on the source of it. They explained that
there's many comments circulating on both YouTube and Reddit where the commenter themselves quote Kirby's words. I'm making an assumption that these quotes come from Kirby's Twitter, where I believe users can directly ask questions in DMs. I don't use Twitter, so I don't know if this is how it works. I suspect though that this is from Kirby's Twitter DMs, and that the information is credible.
Employee 427 explained that with the help of a team, they've been looking for this specific sample for the past 10 months, and the search is particularly taxing. This was 4 years ago. I'm guessing the search dried up and came to an end. The point of this video today is to potentially revive this search. This is essentially the final boss of Lost Wave, and if we as the Lost Wave community can find this sample, then it would be magical. Tell your friends, your family, and your goldfish about this sample, and let's come together to locate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao!